Welcome to Random Fridays. And I'm starting on time tonight too at 9:29 p.m. on the 999 ASMR Tarot, which soon will be just 999 show. That's where this is going. And thank you, Mama Sushi, for being the first one to say hello in the chat. And these are the buttons here. So we're going to be going over all the tarot decks that I picked up in 2024. And so I'm going to just start with the most recent, and then we'll just go, hi, Ange. So I'm going to start with the most recent, and then we'll go backwards, I mean. And so I have pretty much decided that I'm not going to get any tarot decks in 2025. Well, actually, that's not completely true. I have a order that an order out there, and so it'll just be a few, and then that's it. And so I haven't quite edited this video yet together, but it's in my editing. So this is one of the more recent ones that I acquired. Hello, Angela. And so this is the Dreamweaver or Dreamscapes. And the thing that's the interesting feature about this is that you can lay these things in here. The cards like here like this, so it can make up kind of like a poster or something. And reading from card to card and try to. That was the concept of this one is so that you could lay the cards out in a what they call a poster fashion, and then if you make connections this way and that way and so forth. And so that's this one. Now the full size one retails at like $44, and of course it does come with the guidebook. This one you have to go to the QR code and go and get the guidebook online. So they kind of skimped on it, but it does have like 2 extra cards. The 2 extra cards in it are the Dreamer and Rebirth. Of course, the Dreamer card really reminds me of Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange and the Marvel guy, in the movie, where they're just whipping these circles around, and this is how they're weaving their magic. And so these are really cool. It has kind of like a comic booky feel to it. I'm still working on that long play video, like I say, and the holidays kind of put a big damper into everything. And then we go to this one is also this one I'm marking as the last 2024 deck, and I pre-ordered this one and this one. I pre-ordered them like 4 months ago. Okay, who's P. Diddy? Yeah, I don't know who that is. Anyways. And so this one, like these two I ordered about 4 months ago, and I just kind of got them recently. I think towards the end of yeah, welcome Donovan. So this one is really colorful, and I'm not going to go through all the cards. Oh, that's right. Sleeves. You mean like the you mean like a cloth thing? Probably not going to do that, because this way I know. Welcome, lover, Alex. Welcome. And so these ones are really, really super colorful. And the videos will be, God, I hope I can get it done before the end of the year, which means I really need to work on both the video for this one and the Dreamscape one, like now, I suppose. And so these are really super colorful. I really like the colors of them. I'm highly attracted to bright colors and things like this. I find, yeah, anyways. Yeah, so this one, yeah, so this is a new release, borderless miniature of the 8 of Coins Tattoo Tarot. And it comes with a little tiny guidebook, a little tiny white book. You know, I'm thinking about that, Ange. I'm thinking about, actually what I was thinking about doing is practicing by opening up one of my old dead channels and just doing some practice ones in the new year. So, but I'm not, in this one, because I'm planning on splitting the content for the most part. So this one is the mini borderless Smith Waite. Yeah, I like these small ones too. And so, in this one, just like with the other one that, the Pamela ones, that it came with these 4 extra, these were her, some of her watercolors that she had done. And so I don't really need to go through what the cards look like, because they're, but this was really cool of her regular art. And so, but you know, it's the, I guess I really like those borderless ones more so, because it just feels like the image just kind of goes on into infinity. And you know, and you can still see, you know, a lot of the details. I think some of the details must be cut off just a little bit here. You know, because you have this little fight scene that goes on under here. And yeah. So anyway, so that's that. And I'm just going to keep moving on until, and tomorrow night we're going to do another painting. So for instance, I sold a painting today. And so I sold the final draft of this painting. So I'm going to be redoing 2 more just like this, but not exactly like this, but more like the final draft of that one. And then we go to this one, and this is a nice concept, but there are things about, this is a keyword deck. And now, I mean, Weispel has a lot of good things. They kind of pride themselves in trying to be an education, a tarot education company, and so they have these really you know, for these little books there, they have their guidebooks have a lot of information in them. And however, now, what I don't like about Weispel's printer is they use inks that stink. And so if I'm using inks that stink like this, I end up getting like migraines from them. And so I don't want, so that's kind of the drawback, is I wish they would use you know, they're printed in China, but I don't notice that like from US Games or those other companies. So too bad they just wouldn't use the same printer as like US Games. Or maybe they do, but they just go for the cheaper option. I don't know. Because they're kind of trying to undercut undercut U.S. Games prices and Los Garbeo prices. And so this is a keyword. It has, but it's kind of like really tiny print. But this is interesting because they redid the thing, the writer weight all into female characters in every single every one of the cards. It's really conceptually, it's really interesting. And there's like the Nine of Swords and but anyway, so that's that one. And we're just going to move right along. And then we come to this one here, which is, it's another keyword one, but it is a U.S. Games deck of using the universal weight style. And I really like the colorations of the universal weight. And so it has like for instance, I have another keyword deck that's has, and this was my first tarot deck too, and so this one has a lot, and this one also had a smell too, and it was, I let it sit for a good year before I even used it. Oh, well, I also heard that you can use dryer sheets too. So, though this one doesn't have any yes or no cards, but it has like information on the side and so forth. And I kind of like that. But I like the color, like I say, baking soda. Oh, so you don't put the cards in the baking soda, you just put it near the baking soda. Is that right? But anyway, that's just kind of my beef. I like what Weisspell does, but I just don't like conceptually. I don't like their printer. I think that their product. I think their product would be able to sell if they used. Okay. Yeah, that's my opinion of, and like, so I did order another keyword deck from them, and then it really smelled bad, and then I did a real negative review, and I returned it, but Weisspell took the initiative to send me another deck. I haven't opened it up yet for fear of that, but I'll look at it after the holidays. But anyways, these are the colorations are kind of nice on this, but there's like zero smell. So anyways, and this one actually has, what's kind of interesting with it, has some sample spreads, like so you can use it for, like for references. And so I also bought this used, and I bought 2 used decks, and so it's kind of like you holding your breath, for who knows what you're going to get when you buy a used deck. And this one has a little, just a little guidebook, but it's kind of just, it doesn't go into the meanings of the cards because the card meanings are on the cards. But yeah, thank you, Angie. I'll try the baking soda method. And and this one is one I really like this one too. And I bought them all from Amazon. Yeah. And then we go to another one here. This one was also a good one, and I didn't notice any funky smells with this one either. And No, well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have any funky smells, and it's what printed in. Yeah, yeah, you can. If you go, it has that option to buy used decks. I really like this one too because I like the two dimensionality of the because they're kind of like this, like the horse. The horse is like a hobby horse, like a wooden horse that like a toy thing. Yeah, yeah, and so yeah. So I don't think that I'm not gonna buy any more Weisspell decks simply because of that that those smells and issues like that. But this one is really I it's this is the art in this one is really good too, where they reimagined the system. You know, it's kind of like it's almost like it's a cross between RWS and Lightseer and the Lightseer. And that's also I noticed that with uh, with with this one too, is that everyone's trying to do the Lightseer and find their own version of it. And this is kind of yeah. So I think this one had two lovers cards in it, if I remember right. Yeah, that's right, it did. It had, depending on what your orientation was, you had you had two different lovers cards. And so they just kind of say you just take one out, but you know, why not just leave them both in? So yeah. What is that? Like a parrot there or something? But it's everything in here is just there is this element of that with you see like the edges and that's what I kind of like about this one. This is really fascinating. Anyways, we're just gonna move on, and I think this one is kind of all more about introspection. Introspection. Angela, at this current time, the only person I read for is family. And then, okay, so then we go there. We're gonna go on to the next one, and this one I'm not so sure about it. It was like it popped up in my feed, and I think it was a pre-order, but no, I don't know. I did. It was like on sale, and it has I think it's more like a. I think it. This is to me. It seems more like uh, an oracle deck than a tarot. It is laid out in a tarot fashion, but the cards are to me have it reminds me of Dante's Inferno. Now they say this one's gonna. This is the lead. There's two. They made two of them. One of them is more like for black magic, and this one is for not. And so that some of the images kind of tripped me up, and so I don't know if it's kind of dark, and so I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one, but I probably will keep it. I don't know. But they're angels, so these are like angel cards. So I don't know, at this particular time, I really don't know what the application of this is. And it doesn't, being that it's like Los Garbeo, it doesn't have a whole lot of information on it. So it doesn't really talk much about what the application of it is. And so I've looked it up a little bit. But I really like the box. Los Garbeo makes really good boxes. Okay, then we come into, where are we at? Late summer? Late summer? Yeah, late summer. This one was given to me. This is the first deck that somebody has ever given to me, and this is probably the most unusual decks that I have, in my collection. And so it has a pretty extensive guidebook, and it's really compact, and I haven't read through the whole thing, but it is, the backs are on it are reversible. And so this is also a US Games thing, and so it's sort of more of a Native American theme. And pipes, tomahawks, and so it's, I'm not so sure that this is for using for like typical spreads and so forth. I think it would be more for single card draws and looking at the, it's more of an, it is kind of like a more of like an oracle quality rather than a tarot quality. And so it's just pretty neat. I think I do have I have a long play video on this one. I think I do. Maybe I haven't done that one yet. So maybe that's what one of the ones. I'll do more videos on just on these tarot decks in 2025. Then I come to this one, the Universal Celtic. You know, when you look at the, little white book, when you look at, like, at Amazon, you look at a few of the cards, or maybe you go, I think it was probably like $11 or something like that. It's okay. I mean, I don't know that I really connect to this images and so forth in this. Now we got some like Stonehenge-y like things going on, but I did notice that the hangman in this looks a lot like the hangman in the Artist Decoded Tarot. So, anyways, that's just a few. But I just like these. I think I'm just really attracted to these Los Garbeo boxes. It seems kind of odd, I suppose. And, all right. Then we come down to, okay, so then I got a kit. And I got this one because of the book, and I like the price came down to the right level, and this one has just a really extensive, expensive. The book has got a lot of information in it that are different than other tarot guidebooks. But I don't particularly like the larger decks because of how hard they are to shuffle and the handling of them. And but this one has a really nice smell, US Games. And I don't really think that these cards are reversible. I mean, yeah, they do have reverse meanings, but and so forth. But these bigger cards, they're really hard to shuffle. Maybe, when I've had 10 years of tarot experience, then I won't find them so hard to shuffle or feel like I'm getting like joint pains after handling them. I have to make a choice here. I'm just kind of hanging around. But yeah, that's this one. Mainly, it's like it's kind of funny how it is, what motivates you to collect them, and motivation for this one really came out of this book here, and it has featured the Rider-Waite and the Morgan Greer and the New Aquarian. And this is probably one of the books that I want to finish going through in 2025. And this is, so if I wanted a good news, meaning this one has usually more good news. Here's one of my losing tickets. Yeah, so I wanted to finish going through this book. So that's one of my goals in 2025, is to go through the books that I've acquired. And so this is one of the ones that's on my list. I had also got another book, but I really didn't like it. I was thinking it would be better, but it was really reminding me, even though it was written by a Catholic, it had a more like an evangelical Christian kind of a feel to it in its writing, and so that really was kind of off-putting. But I was looking for a more of a Christian viewpoint on the tarot, and that's not exactly what I got at all. I probably will look through the book and maybe think about reviewing the book at a later time, but that was what my initial thoughts were on that book, was of just how Christian it felt. I mean, okay. What are you looking? You're looking at a Christian viewpoint, but I think what I was looking for was a Christian mystic's viewpoint, and not a straight exoteric viewpoint of like mainline Christianity. That wasn't what I was looking for, and so, but that's what that book has in it. And then we go down to what was next. Well, and this was the other used deck I bought, but it didn't have a guidebook, and so that was really disappointing, because it was rated as one that was like it was kind of in between Rider-Waite and Toth, and so, which made me think that, yeah, you can use the traditional values, but I wanted, it probably would, seems to me, is that they, because with how Los Garbeo is, that they would have extra insight and information, at least if it was even just a little blurb, as far as what that bridging that gap is between Toth and Rider-Waite. And so I was really disappointed when it didn't have the guidebook, and I don't know if I'm going to keep this, or will I go, but it does have those, it's done by the same guy who, the Listani, it's the same author, or is the same author as this guy. And you can kind of see that, I guess he's also like a comic book artist too. But yeah. And probably this one and this one, if you knew Kabbalah, if you knew the Kabbalah very well, or you would probably get a lot more out of this deck and this deck. So knowledge of Kabbalah, and yeah, I could, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna probably what I won't do, because I have a couple other decks that I want to get rid of, but I think I'm just gonna take them to a thrift store or something, and but I don't know. I may keep this. I don't know. I've been out there looking to see if I could find yeah. So if I could find a guidebook, that's really what I would like, is to be able to actually find a guidebook for this. And like I say, I kind of feel like there's should be extra knowledge out there that runs towards that esoteric knowledge about, where like I say, where it bridges that gap between the Thoth Tarot and the Rider-Waite. And then see, where do we go from here? The Morgan Greer. And this one, yeah. This one, I really like this one. This one, and I like the Radiant. And this one's got such the bright colors. I just love how this thing is colored. Also U.S. Games, because it smells like U.S. Games. It's like, couldn't Weisfeld use the same printer? Yeah. I like those blues like that, so yeah, and I'm going to, I was just thinking last night that I'm going to take one of my old other channels, and it's probably not the one that I have, like, I don't know. I have two of them that are linked together. I don't know, because I think that I should be able to turn some things on and get it so I can just live stream off of them and just do some practice where nobody knows my name. Anyway, so yeah, I just love the colors in this, but I also find it just so way fascinated that no one has done a different three of a three of hearts. Yeah, the Tower. So the ones that I pre-ordered 4 decks. Was it 4 decks? It was I pre-ordered 4 decks for this year. And we looked at 2 of them, and then the other 2 are coming up. And then it went from here to this one here. The Teeny Tiny Tarot. I remember when I first looked at these cards, and I thought, oh my God, the colors. The colors are just fantastic on them. And the colors, even though it's this tiny, it still has this fantastic colors. But this one's like impossible to shuffle. So I just kind of just leave it in the box, and I select a card here and there, which means I'm not getting any of these over here, so I can always stack the bad news cards towards the edges, so I never pull one of those. So, all right, so we are over halfway done, and then it was this. Now I haven't really delved into the Marseille, but I kind of got it more as like a reference tarot. And so I have essentially 3 reference tarots, and this is one of them. And let me just go check through that to see if that this has a really nice guidebook to it as well. What was this, U.S. Games? Yeah, U.S. Games. Yeah, U.S. Games is they have such a nice smell. They don't smell toxic or anything. And this is a reference tarot deck. Let's see if with that I think the three of swords is, I don't know, maybe it's not. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between like swords and batons with this. And I mean, though some people say that it is easier to read the CBD or the Marseille, but simply because it's the tarot numerology and so forth. Well, anyways, you can never find anything when you're in a hurry. But this has a nice guidebook for just a little printed book and one of these blank cards in it. And so then it was this one. And this one, so the ones that I didn't really like, this one was the one that I really didn't like at all, of all the ones that I got this year. And it was, yeah, it was this one, pretty much this one and this one here. But this one simply because of how evil it had, how evilly it seemed. It didn't, a tarot and light. It didn't have that feel to me. It felt like more like Dante's Inferno. It felt like I was looking into the levels of hell, and I really didn't like that. I think I may have, this one is an AI deck, but I think the way that they did. Now, what I do like about this one is how all out they went. Their book is just incredible. It's like this. They did this. I was gonna do a review on it. I actually ended up deleting all of the footage on it simply because I just couldn't. I didn't really like. There are a lot of things I liked about it, but I just, I don't know. I like this. I really like this. I like what they did here, because this is how the way these pages are sewn in here is just how they're sewn on hard copy books. And so it's just a soft hard copy book, and so they just went all out with this one. And different things and different insights and everything, and so I can't fault them for that. And there's things about their cards that are really images that are interesting. I don't really need to pull the cards out because we have them reprinted over here. And so there are things that are really interesting about them. And I think that I have no intention of giving this one away. And it's colorful. Because what it seems to me is like when they made this one, let me just pull a card out in general. And I like the inner box here. I like that they did this. They have with their kits. I wish that the other people like U.S. Games and Loscar Bayo would do the same with theirs. Because like there was that one card I was talking about in this Universal Celtic deck, which seemed like it was almost the same card. I mean, the image. Let's see if I can easily find it. I guess it's this image here is really off-putting to me. Is that little elf with or the leprechaun with the mushroom, and that's probably what. But you know, let me go. Yeah, it's this here. This one right here is what is interesting. It's just how similar these images are in the Hangman. It's almost the same. It's almost the same image for the most part, but we got this tree type person. But I can kind of see how they. Because I have a projector. It's a big film projector, but if I were doing large paintings, what I've thought about, because I think that's how they did some of these, is that they went to AI and they put their prompts in and they spit out an image, and then they went back in and then they repainted the whole thing. And that's how I surmise, that's how I gathered, and it does have a lot of cool images in it, but it's just kind of flat. It doesn't seem like it lacks a lot of depth. Then I don't like the borders on it. I think that probably if I were me, I would think that having the top border and the bottom border, yes, but the side borders, I think it doesn't really need that. And then there was the other thing, is that these cards are sticky, and that's like one of my pet peeves. I don't like sticky cards. I don't like to feel like I have to pry them apart. And I know that you work with them in time, and then that stickiness goes away. I get that. But I guess I don't like this deck enough to even work with it enough to get the cards unstuck. But, you know, it has a lot of cool images, and I think that where I was using this a lot was for writer's prompts. So coming up in April, National Poetry Month, and so I will probably come out and use some of my tarot decks as writer's prompts, that maybe even that angel one. I don't know if I want to do that, but the night sun one, use them as prompts. For making stories. They are cool images. I guess what I was trying to say was that I think that probably how they may have done this is they got the AI image, and then they went and maybe projected it onto a canvas, and then went and repainted the darn thing. Or maybe they just did it all like is as a digital media, and gave it this painted quality by building the whole thing on a screen. But this literally looks looks like it was done on a canvas, and so that's kind of neat that way. Did I answer that question there, Ange, about what I think about AI decks? I think I have another AI deck here, but I'm not really positive if it is or not. But we'll kind of get there when I get there. So that's this one. New release. It was released, I think I got it in June. Fantastic. I mean, it's a wonderful concept. I just love that book. And it doesn't have any funky smells. That's also a huge plus. No funky smells. And then it was this one. So I mentioned that I had 3 reference tarot decks, and so this is the second one. And so the Solabusca, which goes back to the 1400s. And it's all about the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, and like the story Julius Caesar as is outlined in that as the story is told in Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. Well, my thoughts were is that I think that I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I think. I don't know. I don't have an opinion yet. Maybe we'll just put it to you that way. Because like for instance, that artist decoded deck is a AI deck, and my there are things about it that I like, but there's a lot of things about it I just didn't like, and I can't really see that I would ever use it for anything other than like writer's prompts or something like that. It has a quality to it that's really flat. But it's not, I don't even think I could use it for like reference. Now I can use this as reference because this is a historical piece of, history. But to go see how the evolution of tarot is, if you were to look at where Rider-Waite and where you have, there was another tarot that it was based on, but if you go from there to there, here to, then somehow they I know that the person who came up with this one had seen this one, or at least saw knew about it, because they knew about the Solabusca when they were doing Rider-Waite. Pamela Coleman Smith knew about this, had seen the art for it, and she used a lot of it in the Rider-Waite. So these are my reference decks, and my other reference decks. This is my other reference deck too, is the 1909 tarot. But I just love the book, like this one too. It's like, I was really, when I got the book, it's like this is really an extensive. It's really it has great information. It's not just like some tarot books. This one is really deep for the size of the book it is. So Sasha Graham is a really good writer. So this is reference. It's a reference tarot. I don't really like the coloration of the 1909, but it's. But even this one, as a full-size deck, it is. These cards are thin, and they are easy to shuffle. They slide past each other really well. And they smell nice, too. And it has a really nice smell to them anyways. So that is not... So my 3 reference decks, I mentioned that these ones. With the really good books in them. And then this is the last one for 2024. And this also has a really nice book in it, too. So this would be like if you also have a lot more of that Kabbalah. Yeah, well... Yeah, my smell, actually, if you want, something honest thing, since I had like COVID 2 years ago, my smell is actually a little bit more sensitive. And so I think this is an AI deck too, but I don't see any indication that they have like weird hand shapes, because there's 5 fingers here. So I don't know. Maybe they used the AI and then they went back in and digitally recreated these images. I don't know. It seems to me, I think that this is what this is, but I'm not really positive. But I did pick this one up simply because I knew that it had so that if you know, I don't know the Kabbalah, but if you know Kabbalah, then Kabbalah as it relates to tarot, then this deck here will have a lot more meaning, because it has a lot of the Kabbalistic symbols and so forth in it. And so that's when they went in with this tarot, they tried to bridge those things together, going into the RWS, and then add these other elements to it. And so, anyways, but it's a really nice book. But it just has that AI feel. This feels like AI art. So I don't know that AI art's all that bad, but I think it can be really, really bad. Anyways, that's my thoughts. So that's all I got for this episode. I'm going to come back tomorrow night and work on a different painting design. I think I might work on, I'm not sure what I'll do. I'm going to do something. And then on Sunday, it'll be my Q&A session, and I will do that. Do my first Q&A for this channel. And so, like I said, and I think I mentioned this 3 times now, that one of the things I wanted to do is to split the content off a little bit. But so how I'm still envisioning how things will go, but you know how things are with the algorithm, that YouTube doesn't like variety shows, and so I'm going to try to steer 999 show more towards one direction, and then I'm going to do tarot in another avenue completely, and so with like doing readings, and so I'm going to work on doing practice readings, but I'm not going to tell you what that channel is or anything like that. If you run across it happenstance, then you do. So anyways, that's what I got. And so the other things I'm going to be looking at in 99 show is more Gnosticism, more Christian esotericism, and so which I'll kind of be weaving that in while I'm doing painting and stuff like that. And so, and then I might venture into doing some watercolor. I've never actually have some watercolor coming once I push the button, and that'll probably be, I might also end my Prime membership, because I don't know what the economics for this next year are going to be. But nevertheless, that's all I got, and I'll be back tomorrow night for painting Saturday. I'll probably start on time around 9 o'clock, and we'll do something. I have, I could do ocean scenes. I have a lot of reference photos. Maybe this might be interesting. No. I might do one of those sunsets. You know those sunsets that I posted in where I took those pictures at the game. There was a bird refuge about a month ago, and so I have an underpainted piece of paper, a paper to start a practice painting, and one that's already in a with an underpainting on it, and that way we don't start from white, and we can get a much richer picture. Or I could do this, or I could go and do this one again. This one I downloaded this picture off of Reddit, but this is a night scene off in eastern Oregon someplace. These are pictures I took on my 50th birthday I spent in Hawaii. And I have, here's more. This is Oregon coast. But I've done this image before, but I haven't actually added people in. But I think we'll do. I don't know. I'll figure it out tomorrow. And so that's all I got. And of course, you've seen Norbert here. I'm gonna probably do Norbert again, or a different Bert kind of guy. And so, anyways, I'm gonna say good night and thank you, Ange, for moderating for me. And yeah, taking care of the trolls and so forth. And then you've seen this one here. I haven't quite been able to reproduce this one either. That's what. But I'm not going to bore any of you guys by doing this image again. I'll be doing this one on my own. And anyway, that's all I got, and we'll talk to you the next time. Bye-bye.